Peace family, peace, and welcome to the official Black Opinion. I am your host, Sarah Garvey, and last time out, you saw Big Bro break down Brexit. But now, we are officially going deep. The Black Opinion is the no emotion zone, which means if you're an emotionally led individual, this probably isn't the place for you. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Black Opinion. Peace family, peace, and welcome back to the Black Opinion. Now, gents, last time round we went into Brexit. Well, Big Bro went into Brexit, and I'm just gonna let you know, Big Bro, that has caused a stir. You know,
Apparently so.
that's caused. You know, you're on the hit list now, isn't it?
Well, apparently so. I heard that Tony Blair and, as I said, Ken Clark and Sir Keir Starmer not happy. It's a host of people, but it's okay. Now roll with the man there.
So what did you think about? What did you think about the Brexit thing, Marcus? What did you learn?
Yeah, very informative. As we were speaking before, I was thinking to myself, it might just blow over some people's heads, the level of information. But I was really happy with the audience understood and got down with the information, and it was a good feel to them. So, as I said on the show, I hope people do go back, research what was said, and go in depth with it for their own peace of mind.
But I want to thank you though, because I learned from you on that.
Well, definitely. Thank all of you. I mean, what I would say is this: we've got to move away from the self-imposed stereotypes that we seem to take on, and ideas that we have are not ideas a lot of the time that we've come up with. They're ideas which have been given to us, so we can only move within a certain bubble, if you like, and we should be very wary. We live in the UK, we are born in the UK, we are citizens of the UK, and we have got to take more direct action in the country that we live in.
And we pay taxes in the UK.
My God, we pay taxes in the UK, and we've got to be very, very mindful that whilst many of us are tremendous sports stars, and whilst many of us are tremendous musicians, there is a great swathe of black people in this country that do not fit that stereotype.
Correct.
And I've seen them. And I would say to them that you're a citizen of this country, get involved in the narrative, and stop allowing other people to decide the limits of your ambition.
Well, the thing is, saying that now, that's a great segue into our next subject, which is, what does it mean to be black in modern day society, and do any one particular group of people have a monopoly on what it means to be black? Now I'm going to flesh that out a bit. What I've seen in the last, let's say 4 years, I've been interacting with a lot of black people, both from over here and in the US. And what I kind of find is that African Americans seem to think that they've monopolized what it means to be black. They seem to think that the black experience is their experience. And if you don't adhere to their version of what it means to be black, they feel like they can throw insults at you like coon or Uncle Tom or House Negro, all this kind of stuff. And it's just very interesting to me that for us, I don't know, like we have passports and we go around the world and we see black people in all types of places. So, you know, I've seen black people in Brazil. You know, they've got a black experience over there, the black experience here in the UK, there's a black experience in South Africa, Nigeria, you know what I mean, like Ghana. African Americans don't have that monopoly, but what I do find is that they try to tell other people that if we don't fit their stereotype of what it means to be black, their version, then we are not quote unquote black. Marcus, what do you think?
It's a Hollywood thing for me with the black family in America. They've got movies that promote them as the it black people of the world, rap music, hip hop, R&B. They've got so many different things that have been pumped out from America from a as sub-black culture,
Right.
which it's been pushed around the world. I
When
mean,
you say sub, what do you mean?
sub. This is my colonialism argument. What you'd see coming from these cultures, like with hip hop, would be like a kind of, I kill this nigga, I kill that nigga. Yeah, that's got to be a subculture. Because a real culture kind of benefits the people.
Right.
So there must be some form of subculture.
Yeah.
So, again...
To actively speak about killing yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure other people have said it before, but you would never catch an Irish rapper talking about all I want to take out is other Irish people. Yeah, you never see the Chinese talking about, you know, they've banned it in China. They've gone so far as
they banned hip hop in China.
In China because of its self-destructive nature. So, back in quotes, subculture, which has been promoted around the world as the dominant black culture,
right?
Which is, as I said, Hollywood. It's just Hollywood. They've just got the biggest machine to push their agenda of what it is to be black.
Big rock.
You spoke about the American culture, for example, and how the American black culture seems to predominate, and they believe that they have a monopoly a lot of the time on the black experience.
Right.
And as a result of that, there has been a concerted effort by not just black people, but other people with an agenda to export a negative cultural imperialism across the world. And I'll tell you what I mean. I remember when I went to Lagos for the first time. It was very interesting. If you close your eyes when you get to Lagos, and you go into the city, it's almost as if you're in New York. In terms of the clothing, in terms of the accents that a lot of the young Nigerians use, in terms, as I said, of the clothing, you know, the way in which they wear their hats. They now have their trousers sagging. This is cultural imperialism. It's even infected the way in which music is disseminated in Lagos. Of course, you've got people like Wizkid and so on and so forth who are major artists in their own right. Yeah, absolutely. But there is a cultural imperialism, and with that cultural imperialism, to my mind, comes a certain amount of arrogance. Yeah. And we'll tell you real world how that arrogance displays itself. Just last week, Anthony Joshua, our world champion. Our world champion. Right. Yeah. Big up Anthony Joshua. Went to New York. And he had a press conference with his next opponent, a chap they called Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Which grown man calls himself a big baby? But that's another subject for another day.
We'll get onto that.
We'll get onto that. And what was interesting is that, you know, you always have the WWE moment where somebody says something and pushes someone else, and you know, we understand that's marketing and that's meant to drive PPV sales. But what was interesting in that was that Jerome Miller came out with a comment that fully encapsulates what we mean about dominating the black experience, whereby culturally, that cultural imperialism can come to the fore. And I'll explain. When Anthony Joshua speaks, Anthony Joshua is very eloquent. As you know, many people say, well, you know, Anthony Joshua used to do this back in the day. So did we all. There are many of us who have a history. But Anthony Joshua, through pure bloody-mindedness and hard work, has built himself up into a machine. And it's a machine that generates a lot of income for a lot of people, not just himself. He has a very large team around him, and he understands the English language, and he speaks in the English language, and he represents himself incredibly well. And
he calls himself Nigerian too. And
he calls himself very proud of his Nigerian heritage, but he's very proud that he also lives in the UK. Because a lot of people put the UK down. But the UK the UK, despite its faults, and it has many faults, the UK is a great place to live. I don't know about you, but anytime I leave this country, the minute I hear the pilot, we hit British airspace, I say a silent prayer. But back to the Jarrell Miller, Anthony Joshua scenario. He felt that he had a right, because of the way in which Anthony Joshua portrayed himself. He jumped up and he called Anthony Joshua,
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom. Now, when I heard that, I was upset. And I was upset on behalf of Anthony Joshua. And I'll tell you the reason why. When you look at that statement from a purely psychological basis, it was meant to say, I am superior to you. I'm superior to you as a black man. I dominate the black experience. And because I dominate the black experience, I can make any accusation against you, however puerile, but it has to be accepted until you dig down into it. Because as I said previously, I'm one of the people who's actually read Uncle Tom's Cabin. And if you read Uncle Tom's Cabin, you would understand that when they speak about the house Negro, they've got it absolutely.
It's not Tom.
It is not Tom. If you read it, if you read, absolutely it was. Tom was incredibly conscious.
That's right.
And it was quote unquote Sambo, who was the Sam. But of course, many of us don't read, we don't study, so we hear a slogan and we jump on it. But if you dig down into what Anthony Jarrell was saying, the way in which he tried to put Anthony Joshua down. And of course, Anthony Joshua's a lovely guy, but if you push Anthony Joshua, like many of us, then the road will come out. And Joshua made clear, and he used the Anglo-Saxon expletive that he was going to bust this guy up. And I understood that as well. And that wasn't WWE. He actually meant it, because there are many of us who take the position of Anthony Joshua that we're fed up with other people defining
what blackness is.
What blackness is. And I've actually found this now, even in this country, from other races.
But hang on, let me cut you there.
Okay, so.
Right. So what I saw with Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, is I saw him being intimidated mentally, not physically, but he's a boxer, but mentally he's intimidated because Anthony Joshua is a well-spoken young man, who will literally bust your face, and then after talk to the press really eloquently and get the press on his side. So this guy knows, this Big Baby Miller guy knows that he's not of the intellect of Anthony Joshua, first of all.
Definitely.
And he doesn't like that because because what did he say? I was with the rats and the roaches and all this nonsense talk. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Do you know what I mean? But that's his quote unquote black experience. That's what it means to him to be black. Marcus, come on, help me out.
To be real.
To be real.
I'm glad we jumped on the real thing because, again, the black American experience for me, not all my brothers and sisters in America, but a lot base it on, as you can see with hip hop, it's based on being from the gut. It's based on suffering. If you haven't suffered,
then you're not
real.
Yeah.
But to me, it's Tony Blair's children. Are they real? Their life looks real. Driving around in Bentleys and being chauffeured. That looks real.
That looks real to me.
But I haven't seen the sufferation.
Right.
I haven't seen the cockroaches run by.
Right.
So what is this real thing that American culture kind of puts on the rest of us? What I mean, it's steeped in sufferation and pressure. It's got nothing base that we can grow off. Anyway, so as far as it goes, I mean, first I've got to say that I'm a Deontay Wilder fan and an Anthony Joshua fan.
I don't like Deontay Wilder.
You don't like it?
I'm walking off the black opinion. I'm running.
No, I can't front. I can't front. And there's a reason as to why. Because there's a lot.
He's not even a good boxer, bro.
But hear my reason. It's not to do with Deontay Wilder's skills. It's to do with there's things that he's done in the media, which has stood up for black people, on a large scale. I believe Anthony Joshua has done some things as well, and said some things. and their culture clash, them not being able to see eye to even fight each other, yeah, is one of the major things where I go back to my point about saying with the Hollywood scenario, us not having a market. You see, when Black Americans look at us, they go lock, stock, and two smoking barrels. They go Jason Statham.
They say
That's the heart.
Team.
Yeah.
Tea and crumpets.
The craze.
Yeah.
That's the heart.
Yeah.
They see no imagery of the road. They see no imagery of our street life. They have no history of Brixton, Hackney, Tottenham. They don't, like, I think the most you can ask like a Black American about Britain, they will go, oh, Brixton, man. Brixton. But that is it. They couldn't name another area and they couldn't tell you the history of Brixton. They could just tell you maybe they've got a family member who lives there.
Right.
But that's about it. So,
or a friend that went there one time.
So to be honest with you, it's like we've got no propaganda to push to America to show this is who we are.
Right.
They don't recognize our identity because it's not being pushed.
Well, can I just go back and I've got to go back to the point about an imperial. There's a cultural imperialism.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that they are as ignorant about the UK as they say they are. I don't believe that's the case at all. I believe that it's a situation whereby they believe that they've suffered the most, and as a result of that, they should be able to speak the loudest. And I'm not quite certain that there should be a league table of suffering. What I would say is that I don't even believe in the concept of the rats and roaches. There are many of us who didn't grow up in that scenario. There are many of us, and there are many people I know who are incredibly bright, incredibly intelligent. They don't have that road about them, but it would be best for your physical health not to come against them, because they have that ability to effectively put you in your place. I think the situation I saw with Anthony Joshua and Jerome Miller, Jerome Miller will understand this in a couple of months from now when he fights Anthony Joshua, because Joshua will batter him, and you know there is evidence for this. Yeah, there is evidence for this. I remember when Muhammad Ali fought, I think it was Floyd Patterson, and he called him. Floyd Patterson was very disrespectful to Muhammad Ali, and he called him a Christian son of a bitch. When Ali fought him, they said it was the first time they'd seen Muhammad Ali being incredibly cruel in the ring, and whereby he literally carried a boxer that beat the living daylights out of him. Right. I think that when you see the fight with Anthony Joshua and Jerome Miller, you're going to see a fairly similar situation. Yeah. So what does it mean to be black? None of us, even us here at the Black Opinion, none of us have a monopoly on what it means to be black, because it's a different experience depending on where you go. And this is the reason, apart from anything else, that identity politics for me now, if not dead, is dying, and I'll come to that.
Right. So this is what also why I'm always jumping off the back of that, right? Because black people have such a warped view of what it means to be black. Not all, but some of us, like Big Baby Miller. We feel, like you said, the Hollywood component that is pushing that version of blackness, right? Black people buy into it.
Yes.
They buy into that is what it means to be black. Yeah. And then what happens is black people go out into the world around other races of people. Yeah. And they let those other races of people think this is what it means to be black. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So Big Baby Miller will be, yo man, I'm roaches and the rats and I'm from the Bronx. And okay, cool. He goes around white people, Japanese people, Chinese people, and acts like that. Yes. They feel like, and he lets them know too. This is what black people do. Yeah. We are not smart enough to not let people know that we are more than one-dimensional. A lot of us. Yes. So we have this one-dimensional way of being, and then the Chinese man, the Asian man, the white man, the Arab man says, yeah, that's what it means to be black. Yes. Then when they see you, when they see me, when they see you, they're like, you're not black.
Why are you speaking like
Why are you speaking like
a white man?
You're not black. That's not what I mean. And then now what happens is people outside of black people are now telling black people what it is to be black. Now, I, in my whole life, would not ever tell a white man, Japanese man, Chinese man, you're not Chinese, you're not white, you're not Asian. I wouldn't even put myself in that position.
Yes.
I'd be like, who am I to tell another man from that race that he's not that? But a lot of people feel like they can tell black people that they're not black enough.
Yeah, they're not black enough.
Not black enough.
Not broad enough.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When we don't have our own propaganda machine,
Right.
yeah, and you've got Hollywood movies, music, sport. It's just there's too much coming out, the output to the rest of the world of black people. I mean, I used to be a big anime fan, Japanese anime.
You still are, don't say used to.
I've slightly strayed away from it now because of again, same thing, lack of representation.
Right. Okay.
I need to see a Boondocks. I need to see an Afro Samurai.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
For me to continue on, because even when you, we're going off here, but as to the anime thing, propaganda, again, you need your representation. We need representation. That's why I say I do believe we need to be quite.
This is the representation, though.
This is here today. Better late than never. But the truth be told, prior to this, I haven't seen too many.
Yeah.
And that is, how can you expect people to have a point of view of black people if it's not being promoted? If there is no propaganda to it, if there is nothing, it's almost like we don't have an agenda to show the other sides of ourselves. So I do believe we need to take accountability for that. I'm not saying that nobody has tried. I'm just saying, up to this point, look how well negative hip hop is marketed.
You know, but you say that there's not a positive view of us. I would disagree again, Marcus.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the reason why. My missus is back at university. My daughter's doing her masters.
Yeah.
Son has finished his degree.
Yeah.
He's in the city now.
Yeah.
My other son has done his degree.
Yeah.
You know, he's a senior teacher now. The point that I'm making is that when you go into the universities, many positive young black youngsters who are in the universities who are working hard. The problem for them is, and in fact, no, you are right to some degree, that you don't hear about them.
And then I was just like saying, I totally agree with you, but where is okay, I can get work with graphic design. And I find a lot of the artwork I can do, I can get your local trap music, drill, and get them to put on some balaclavas, take some pictures, and these pictures will blow up, they'll get the likes. Yeah? But if I put, as you said, a couple of black uni students on the front of a couple, no one's going to be feeling it, because again, there's no propaganda system to push unis where it's at. Education is where it's at.
This is the thing about, I'm going to go into something now, the black experience. A lot of black people feel like education is a bad thing, or being too educated.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can get educated, but not when you become too educated. Now you're in the white system, and now you're an Uncle Tom, and now you've forgotten where you come from. So I've always said to people, right? So I'm educated to college level. Because I was doing drama. I could have gone to drama school. Didn't do it because an opportunity presented itself for me to make a few quid. So that was my experience, right? So what it is with me is that if you don't understand the system that you're in, like me, my politics, like people know, is nationalism. I want to see black people win. I want to see us win, and I want to see us win big. I'm not trying to see us win and disrespect other people. I don't want to kill anyone else, or you know what I mean, like enslave.
I'm not trying to tread on.
I'm not trying to tread on the top. No. I want black people to win, but what we have to understand is everyone. If you look at history, because I like to look at history, though. If we look at Greece, Greek theologians or Greek philosophers came to study in Africa. And what they done is that they took what they took from the universities and they went back and made Greece great. And I'm saying to people, if you're black and you want to build something, and you are in a position to actually learn something, learn it, understand it, and go and build something to make black people good again. Like I don't understand why education is a bad thing.
You're missing. Sorry to cut you, but you're missing something there, I believe, which is again the reason why negative black subculture can be pushed worldwide, internationally, because it's cool, it's YOLO, it's hip, it's got something to it, it looks active. Yeah? And university life and the things that come after university life, the benefits, the knowledge,
Right.
maybe the job opportunities that come with it, is not promoted as being this way of life that we need. I mean, where are the adverts?
You know what though? It's accepted though. I'm telling you, there is a quiet resilience that I see from black youngsters who are in university. And whilst you might not hear all the resultant noise, you know, there is that creeping ambition that I see amongst them. I mean, like I have my niece at the moment. She was drifting when she was about 17, 18. She was 26, and she's gone from drifting, even though she was at college at the time, to going to university, to then coming out, trading a further year to be a teacher, and now she's in UAE as a teacher. And what I find with her is what I find with many youngsters, that they're redefining who they are in the 21st century. And of course, I still say Marcus is right that we need media to push these narratives. Of course, if you push this on social media, you're not going to get many likes and so on and so forth. And I would say that, do you know what, in the scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because you've got your life to live. And the best way to live your right life right now is to put yourself in a position to benefit yourself. And so, you know, the last point that I'd make is that what everybody look at as the stereotype of black people, it lasts for a very, very short time. But it's got to have new adherents each time. Because you reach 27, 28 and you think, what am I doing with my life?
And you know, you said you went to Nigeria. Do you know what it is? Nigerians are redefining a lot of what it means.
Unbelievably so.
You said yourself to me that you feel like you're spiritually Nigerian.
I said that I'm spiritually Nigerian. And you know,
I second that.
Pardon?
I second
well,
that.
I say that. Yeah, people laugh at me. People laugh at me when I say that. But you know, I have a Chinese friend here who's fourth generation. And he still identifies as Chinese. He will say that he's British.
Of course you would.
Yeah, he's definitely British, but like he is very close to China and what China is doing. It's almost like, for example, you know, when you watch what's that program where people relocate to Australia? You understand? One of the recurring things, it always makes me laugh out loud when I see it. When you go into the houses of these people, they'll always have a Union Jack somewhere. So you're in Australia, but you understand that you come from Britain.
Of course.
And you're very proud of where you come from. It doesn't mean that you're disrespectful of Australians. And so, you know, I'd say, you know what, I'd look at this black opinion and I'd come out with a lot of hope, because what's happening is that we see what's happening. We understand the cultural imperialism. And when you see an object coming towards you and it's negative, if you see it enough time, you can avoid it.
Get out of the way.
And I think that's where we are now. I'm really hopeful, despite all the negativity that you hear about black youngsters and black people. I'm really hopeful for the future. You know, there are many people, well, there's racism and so on. Look, there's racism everywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. It's whether or not it's going to affect you. And I think that we are truly in the most wonderful position in the history of the known world that we're in now. We should take advantage of it.
Right. Okay. So I guess that is another episode. Family, gents, I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah, me too. It's been light.
Yeah.
I couldn't do another Brexit again.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
I couldn't do another Brexit. Yeah, definitely. I've had to wear a hoodie over my head.
All right, then, family. Catch us next time on The Black Opinion. Peace, family.
Peace.
Peace.